Welcome everybody to Morello Sports Discussion. This is going to be a very, very fun channel talking about sports, anything you guys want us to talk about related to sports, baseball, basketball, football, you name it, anything, just tell us in the comments. But before we go any further and before we start talking to you guys about sports, we're going to introduce our co-host, Joe Montolio.
What's up, everyone? First episode, I'm very excited.
He's very, very excited here. And very, very excited to kick this off. How do you feel?
Good, I would say. I couldn't be more excited. I've never done this before.
All right. So, Joe, how do you feel about the Yankees start to the season so far?
All I have to say, a lot better than the Mets.
Yeah.
I think people were thinking that the Mets were the favorite outcome, week one, and they disappointed. But speaking on the Yankees' terms, I'll say I'm satisfied. How about you?
I'm satisfied. Garrett Cole, two very, very good starts. Cortez pitched fine. And, we heard, I'm just going to look up right now, Carlos Rodon, actually. Let's see when he's coming back.
Yeah, probably our biggest acquisition of the offseason.
What did we sign for? 165 for 7 years, something like that? Yeah.
Very fair deal.
So,
we're not going to call anything over.
So it looks like yesterday, manager Aaron Boone, who, I don't know, but a lot of Yankee fans do not think he's a good manager. Told all Yankee fans and the whole organization some promising injury updates. His website says inside the pinstripes. It says center fielder Harrison Bader, he had a left oblique strain. He's expected back mid to late April, so he'll be back very, very soon. So
no, not bad whatsoever. I'm excited.
Last year in the playoffs, he was one of our best players.
One of our best players, probably the best outfielder we had throughout the playoffs, obviously besides Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge did not have a good playoffs, so we could look that up after.
Understood that, just overall as a captain, as a team player.
But do you think maybe chasing for 62? Do you think that affected him? Because pitchers were not thrown to him; they were pitching around him. His walk numbers were a lot.
Yeah, his on-base percentage makes up for him.
It was like 500 in the last month.
Yeah. He had a stretch during the season where he had like 28 homers in like less than 60
absolutely.
games.
Harrison Bader told Aaron Boone he was letting it rip for his last dozen swings. That sounds like a good sign.
We need Bader back. We cannot have Isaiah
Before we go on to the rest of the Yankees, let's just talk about the outfield logjam they have right now. They got Aaron Hicks complaining for playing time. How do you feel about that? It can get annoying after a while.
You can't really complain for playing time. He played a decent amount last season, didn't really prove much. He's played a few games this season, hasn't proved anything. In fact, I think he's actually gotten worse, so I don't really see what's the purpose of him even getting any playing time.
Do you think Yankee fans go too hard on him? He had a lot of good moments in October, 2017, 2018.
Yeah, he was
around then.
He was a postseason weapon for us. Really good arm still in center, in center left.
Better question though is, I know this is a little off topic, but why was Isaiah kind of for left and playing the outfield? Why did they start making him play the outfield?
So you gotta just try something different, See
but you gotta respect that he's a team player though,
He is a team player.
He's a team player. He'll
utility man to say the least. Utility man.
Well, we already have Oswaldo Cabrera, who's a utility
man. Who should be playing over here.
He should be playing, but 2 games this week. He was playing over him. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Do you agree with me?
I just completely agree. I feel that we should just as we've been saying since last year, give the young guys a chance to play.
All right, we're gonna go now to Carlos Rodon, left forearm strain. He said, in spring training, it's just a precautionary injury. He doesn't want this to be long term, so he just wanted to prevent it. But he does have injury history, and you cannot, ignore that. How do you feel? Do you think this is a big concern?
I mean, we haven't really seen him pitch yet. That's what we saw him in spring training. I wouldn't really worry.
And I think he allowed 5 runs. Let's just look that up.
He didn't pitch phenomenal, to say the least. For his quote-unquote debut, he did not do what he was supposed to do.
Just look up Carlos.
You can't really emphasize spring training. I think it's just to see if a lot of the young guys, if they're stepping it up, going in the right direction. Hopefully in the future they'll be called up. But I really wouldn't worry about our main guys in spring training whatsoever.
So, what position do you think Aaron Judge should be playing? Center field or right field? Or left field, for that matter?
I'm fine with him, honestly.
When Bader comes back, let's just say.
think Bader in center field is perfect. One of the fastest guys in the MLB. Obviously not as fast as guys like Tim Castro, but he's definitely up there.
I don't know about that, but I think he does have some speed. And he's showing off his power very, very well in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean,
how many home runs he had? Maybe 3, 4, maybe
3
5.
or 4 home runs. A lot of them just left center, left field.
It
right
was
around
awesome.
the bullpen. It was
awesome.
He was definitely our spark plug during the postseason.
Let's talk about the bullpen. A few guys that are struggling. Michael King, his velocity was down the other day. And the trainers checked him, said,
potential IL stint for him, honestly.
I think he will.
He doesn't look the same. Clay Holmes, on the other hand, had a first game he looked bad, looked rough. The last 2 games, though, complete opposite. Looks really good. He shut down the 2 teams that he's played. Had a few strikeouts. Maybe he allowed a hit or 2, but nothing serious. So
yeah,
I think if he can be really big for us down.
So you think Clay Holmes should be the closer, or even Loizaga?
I think Loizaga is more of a setup guy. I think he should stay as a setup guy, 7th, 8th inning guy. If he needs to come in at the 6th.
I don't know if you were watching, but the pitcher that throws the Slambio, as Aaron Boone said, Ian Hamilton. Yeah. How do you feel about him? He looked good.
Looks good, but can't call him up yet. I think the bullpen's fine right now. Too many injuries right now. F. Ross is hurt.
He's out for the year. We lost Chad Green. We lost a lot of guys that could be very, very important here.
Very important, very impactful, but we'll never know.
Clark Schmidt, he was all right last start. I don't think we have to talk about him much. Herman looked all right.
This season he's looked a little shaky.
Then we have the man Colton Brewer who we picked up. Do you think
Yeah, I think he's just one of those additions that could push us towards.
Jimmy Cordero has a nice pitch. But I think a problem is the Yankees have one left-handed pitcher in the bullpen, which is Wandy Peralta.
Who's great? Who I think is one of our best pitchers in the whole
bullpen.
bullpen.
But when you face a team, loaded with lefties, wouldn't you want that, extra guy, extra left-handed hitter,
Down the line, we're going to see who's available in the market to pick somebody up, someone down, the trade deadline, someone that we could get. I wouldn't worry about it yet until it actually starts to impact us. But
we're going to talk about now the infield. Rizzo's fine, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Even though, do you agree with Boone resting him against the lefty? I think that was fair. Maybe one game.
I don't. Listen, Aaron Boone's Aaron Boone. We don't agree with most of the decisions he makes, but that's just the reality of it. So it's really nothing.
Second base, we have Gleyber Torres. How do you feel about his production so far?
So far, first week, the best Yankees player in the first week of opening day, MLB, whatever you want to call it. He's been the best second baseman in the major leagues so far.
I think I could agree with that. He's been great lately.
Compared to that piece of crap Jeff McNeil has been the complete opposite.
We're going to be going on to the Mets in maybe 5-10 minutes. We're going to be talking about the Mets. We're going to have another guest speaker who's going to be.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And I'm going to get up and you're going to talk with the Mets fan and we get into a little argument.
Who knows? Shortstop
Anthony Volpe.
It's all about growing problems with that guy.
I'm going to look up his average right now.
It's all about growing problems. You got to face reality. Young guy, what is he, 21? 20, 21?
Okay, so we got Anthony Volpe,
21 years old.
21 years
you got to accept those growing pains. It's the first week of the season, so I really wouldn't worry much that he made an error or two. He's not batting as best as he can. There's still 155, 156 games left in the season. He has a lot of time to grow. It's his first year in the leagues. He got called up from AAA. And we're just going to see, where it takes him.
We got another discussion here. We have to talk about Josh Donaldson, third base.
Not a fan.
Besides that one home run.
Besides the home run, the batting's been abysmal.
His fielding's been fine, though.
Fielding's great. He's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. That's how he's been in the whole league.
But now as he's hurt, who do you think the Yankees go to the third base?
I wouldn't be able to. With Aaron Boone, you just never know.
Who knows? Maybe he'll put Luis Rojas at third base. He's used to that area, in the coach's box. That guy.
Yeah. But if I had to guess someone, who knows? With Aaron Boone,
Oswald Peraza, maybe.
We can see Peraza. Maybe even IKF somehow gets a game in there. You never know. It's a shot in the dark with Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone's going to be changing that lineup up every single game.
Every week we get a different lineup, so.
And then the catcher, Trevino. How do you feel about him? Hit a home run yesterday.
Probably the best.
In the lead?
Maybe this is a bit of a stretch. I'd say he's the best defending catcher in the major league.
And then how about Higashioka?
It's okay, too. It doesn't really have a big bat here. He gets on a streak every now and then, gets a few homers every now and then, but nothing special out of him. But he's definitely worthy of being a backup, to say the least.
Fair enough. I was talking about the bullpen before. I forgot one name. Ron Marinaccio.
The
They're
young,
looking good.
the young gun, who I consider to be our Italian stud. You know, we had Joey Gallo.
I think we have Anthony Rizzo, man. You know.
Yeah, we got Rizzo too, but I think another young stud that we could call the Italian stallion. You know, I'm right now.
I think, So overall, how do you feel about the Yankees so far? 4-2. They have the Orioles tomorrow for 3 games, and I think
that's the kind of series. If we could just sweep them, or at least win a rubber game and go 2-1.
I think
satisfied again.
And the Orioles one of the best young teams in the league, led by Adley Rutschman now, I guess. The problem with them is their pitching. I think they probably have, a lot of
they have Grayson Rodriguez,
new pitcher, but their ERA is definitely, it's up there.
Yeah, they're a young team. They were one of the worst in the major leagues a few years ago, but they're slowly but surely coming up in the rankings. You never know with them in the next 5-10 years where they could be. Even maybe 3 years from now, they'll be somewhere else.
I think the Yankees have a very, very good chance to, win the division.
I think the division we can win for sure. It's about winning, maybe win the pennant, going to the World Series, getting another appearance there. The only big step is the Astros.
Last question before we're going to move on to the segment about the Mets. DH, how do you feel? Stanton, you think should be there? Or you think he's better playing the outfield?
Mix it up with him. It's the first week or first week 2 at the MLB. Let him play a little bit in right field. Let him play at DH. See what works best for him. I feel like we should definitely know where he should be by end of the first half of the season, All-Star break. By then, we should know if he wants to be a true.
Because he's a lot of these guys, a lot of these tall guys in the Yankees, those sliders, those downward sliders, they just swing right through it, swing a little early, swing a little above where the ball is.
Yeah, I feel like the Yankees are always just swinging for the fences. They chase a lot of pitches that they shouldn't chase, but that's just the reality.
But they swing for the fences and they hit the home runs.
They're called the Bronx Bombers for a reason, everybody.
They're called the Bronx Bombers for the reason. So we're gonna move on to another team now who has not had a great start. And I'm gonna actually get up now. I'm gonna leave it to Joe and another man right here, Frank Mangione. We're gonna. Back from the little intermission we had. Now we're going to be talking about the Mets. I think, Joe, you should start. First off, how do you think the Mets are doing?
I'll let Frankie start.
All right. Frankie, start.
I have a lot on my mind. This team has been an utter fucking disgrace. It's every year with them, high expectations, low, very, very low ending. But I feel like this year they do have a better chance. A little more experience under their belt. But Eduardo Escobar, he's got to go. He's got to go. Brett Baty needs to play.
Well, actually, Brett Baty's actually hurt again. He hurt himself.
But I know Francisco Alvarez is coming up because Omar Narvaez is out for 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, high catch.
So I feel like that's a little better for us. I'm glad to see the young guys play.
I don't know if Alvarez is ready, but I think we kind of said the same thing with Volpe, so we'll have to just see.
I mean, Alvarez is more of a proven AAA player. A few home runs, very big power bat.
Yep.
So I feel like the Mets do have very high potential. I think they have probably the best lineup in the league when they're on. Everybody needs to be hot.
I think we're going to argue the Yankees actually have the best lineup in the league when healthy. Let's be honest here. I think the Astros have it.
Your whole team is really based on one bat. Without that guy, your team is an utter disgrace. Your team's an utter disgrace. It's an utter disgrace.
No, I think LeMay.
Okay, IKF LeMahieu's been terrible. He strikes out.
LeMay's good. You can say anything about Jeff McNeil in the first week. We've been batting on the
250. We've been in 7 games though.
Yes,
LeMay can't stay healthy. You can't say they have a good lineup when nobody's really proven. McNeil's been proven. He won the batting.
LeMay won the batting title as well. He's also a 2-time Gold Glove.
Can't stay healthy though.
But he's proven
never
himself.
on the field though.
He's more of a veteran than McNeil.
Yeah, but he's never on the field.
He's had a better career than McNeil has.
Yeah, he's been in the league longer than McNeil. Of course he has.
All right, so yes.
But getting swept to the Brewers in Miller or whoever the Brewers Stadium is called.
That was a really bad series for the Mets. I mean,
getting shut out twice,
losing 10-0, 9-0, but.
Do you think that's on the pitching? You think that's on the management? What do you think that's on?
I think the manager is fine. I think it's partly, honestly, the hitting's fault there. Yeah. But
Wade Miley.
But
they hit Corbin Burns though.
Corbin Burns, he had a bad first start as well, so I think he's just shaking.
It's hard to say right now. We're only 7 games in the season, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not like how the Mets look. When Lindor and Pete are on, the team's really dangerous. When everybody
they were on yesterday though. Lindor 3 hits, Alonso 2 home runs.
They're really dangerous. So
yeah, but
they're pitching good. But I think even if we had Diaz there, it doesn't really matter because Adam Ottavino really pitches before Diaz. What's Diaz really going to do in that game? So the Mets really needed to rely on their bullpen besides Diaz.
Yeah, but is Ottavino coming in the ninth inning that game?
No.
I think Ottavino came in the 10th.
It was actually a tie.
Maybe the
game
8th.
there,
It depends.
Yeah, I think in the 8th that I would have said.
I don't know where Robertson goes. Robertson, Ottavino, Diaz. I don't know where they all
That's
go.
why they probably postponed the game because their bullpen is a little short-handed. Drew Smith pitched a lot.
So Mets fans are already making excuses.
So-
guys. That's what you're gonna get from this. First week, Mets fans are already
I didn't
making
make an
excuses.
excuse.
So I think Frank could go into the game tomorrow. What are you going to look for? You want to look for any improvements or anything like that?
I want to see better at bats, less striking out, and I can't watch Daniel Vogelbach play anymore.
Vogelbach lost weight, guys. 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, the problem with him is, say he's coming off the bench to pinch hit and he gets on base, you have to put a pitch runner in. So
Yeah, you gotta use two
So you're
guys.
losing two guys.
I think you could do that for
He's
Alonso
useless.
also. I mean,
Yeah, but it's a little different though, because Alonso actually plays in the field, so he's literally a part of the game no matter what.
Yeah.
So even if Alonso gets on base, you're only losing one guy.
And we
It's
can't
like
argue
a
against
situation.
Vogelbach's mobility compared to Alonso. Alonso's 10 times
Fast, yeah.
more flexible, is faster.
But I mean, I feel like the Mets still have one of the best teams in the league. I think
absolutely, with the $300-something payroll, way
I
more
mean,
than a lot of other teams, or more than every other team.
People do say that the team doesn't look like they spent that money, but from being a Mets fan, the team has improved.
We're gonna go over some players. Do you think? Well, first off, let's just say, should you guys gotten Carlos Correa?
I mean, I don't think we should have, to be honest with you. I don't.
Yeah, but you said Eduardo Escobar should go.
Yeah, but I think we should try and just rely on our young guys right now, see if they could pan out. We have Ron Mauricio.
But he's a
we have
shortstop.
Brett Beatty. But you could put Mauricio at the second base.
Where's McNeil go?
Put McNeil in the outfield, take over
Okay.
Canna. Then when
How do you
we-
feel
Yeah,
about
'cause
Canna?
Canna's been, let me just say,
Canna's
absolutely
fucking atrocious.
abysmal.
Well, you know who else? We're gonna talk about the DHs again. We got a
And-
guy.
And the problem with the Mets right now is we need a new power bat in our lineup. That's been the big.
I think Tommy Pham is, a lot better power bat than Darren Ruff. He's not a great power bat, but he can hit home runs.
Tommy Pham was a good signing because Canada got to get out the outfield.
And I think we just have to say, how do you feel about Darren Ruff? How do you feel?
I mean,
It's an absolute masterclass.
garbage.
Darren Ruff or Joey Gallo?
We should have kept J.D. Davis. I feel at that point.
Yeah, he's been decent.
How about Conforto? How about you get Conforto
He's
again?
garbage. I don't want him. He sucks.
Conforto's one of your
He can
better
stand.
players in the mid 2010s.
We haven't talked about the starting rotation for the Mets. How do you feel about the starting rotation so far?
I mean, I think they're still one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. I mean,
But we haven't seen the one
We haven't
so
seen
far.
it. But when they are on the field, I still think, even if Scherzer has a 3-point-something ERA, he's still one of the best pitchers in the league. Same with Verlander. That 1-2 punch that you can get 5 to 6 innings out of on a nightly basis, it's
Kodai Senga had a rough first inning the other day. How do you feel about how he rebounded and
his stuff.
the ghost fork?
His stuff is
called-
absolutely disgusting. You can't argue with me that he can be one of the greatest.
David Peterson did not have a great day yesterday. How about him?
Yeah,
I feel like he's more of a bullpen guy.
I was just gonna say the same
I
thing.
think he's like 6 to 7 innings, 6 to 8 inning guy to eat up innings sometimes.
He's not a
So,
quality starter.
I think he has good stuff early on, but then he starts to lose it when he gets a little gassed. But
Tyler McGill, you think he should be a starter for the
I
long
think
run?
he should be a starter. He looked really good last year before that injury, but when he came back, he wasn't the same. But I think he could still be really good.
And you guys also got Jose Quintana, who's gonna hopefully be coming back soon.
I haven't never seen
Yeah.
him pitch in my life. He had
I think
one,
he just had-
one good year, but if he can be solid with like a
He could maybe be an innings eater
if
for you
Yeah,
guys.
if he can have like a 4 ERA, something like that, because he's better than Carrasco. That guy is.
Yeah, we need to get rid of him, right?
We re-signed that guy for a ridiculous amount of money, which is blows my mind. Okay, that really just pisses me off. Ask me another.
We're actually going to go now to the bullpen. Tommy Hunter, his name is.
That guy.
He's
Don't get me. All right, he isn't bad sometimes, okay, but he's one of the most inconsistent pitchers I've seen in my entire life of watching baseball. He is putrid.
seems like the
Putrid.
Yankees dealing with Chapman the last few years. Just happened
But
to-
Chapman's throwing 104 now.
All
He's
of a
back.
sudden-
Chapman's good now.
All of a
You
sudden,
gotta-
it's his first week back.
Now, as we've talked about all of New York sports, do you think there's really a thing, New York pressure? Joey Gallo, Sonny Gray, all those guys, Frankie Montas even, let's just go. If they had more pressure in New York, do you think?
There is a lot of New York pressure, yes, because mostly teams have not succeeded in a long time. Besides, like the Yankees, probably, or the Rangers, I guess a little bit. But New York is a different atmosphere to play in. I mean, some guys are built for it, and it's just some guys aren't mentally built for it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some prime examples like Pete Alonso. You have guys like Aaron Judge that are built for that stuff. You've seen guys.
And we're gonna have other segments about other sports, even basketball. Maybe there is that also.
If the Mets can stay healthy and get hot at the right time, they're all.
So you're telling me you want to be like the 2019 Nationals or the last year Phillies? Same thing. You think you're capable? You think you could run through the NL?
I think we can run through the NL if we get hot at the right time. We saw last year early on, we came back 7-1 against the Phillies. Early on, we came back against the Cardinals, late game situation. So we've proven we could be a really dangerous hitting team. We beat the Braves. Then later on in the season, the Braves kicked our ass. And that was, by the way, that was a god-awful series, okay? I mean, god-awful. They abused us. We got mauled by the Braves. The Padres.
Do you think you guys could pass the Braves in the standings? Do you think you got to settle for a wild card spot and hope for the best?
It's gonna be really hard, but early on, if we keep
Definitely a possibility to say the least.
We have a chance. It's gonna be really close. I think the Braves are one of the best teams in the league. I mean, their lineup
Arguably the best team in the league.
If not the best.
I'm gonna ask this to both of you. Do you think the Phillies are a threat in the NL East?
Yes, I still think they are. I think
if they get back healthy, I think they are.
They don't have Bryce Harper yet until
Reese
May.
Hoskins
is out for the season, unfortunately, but Bryce Harper.
I mean, that Reese Hoskins though is gonna really hurt them.
It's gonna hurt them, but Bryce Harper is arguably a top 10 player in
Reese
baseball.
Hoskins is one of the at least the top 5 first basemen.
He's a premier first.
Their pitching staff led by Aaron Nola, who
I think he's Mr. Consistent.
I feel Zach Wheeler's 10 times better than Aaron Nola.
Aaron Nola is the ace. I was talking to Joe the other day. He was calling Aaron Nola one of the most consistent pitchers in the league. You know what you're going to get from him.
No, you're going to get a 3.5.
I mean, he gets rocked a lot though. He gets hit up.
But you're going to get a 3.2, 3.5.
I think it happens for every pitcher. DeGrom in his first start got hit around a good amount.
And I'm glad we got rid of him. You guys could all say what you want. I'm not giving that guy that money. He's not worth it.
Fair.
He can't put.
We'll have to see if that
pitch.
if that team improves wrong.
I mean, that Texas team is really good. I mean, they're deep.
Underrated team: Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien still on that team, correct?
Yes. He's the leadoff hitter. We got Seager following him.
The Yankees are probably one of the most overrated teams in the league.
Right as you say that, I was thinking about. I want you guys to go on a full-on debate right now. Who's the better team, the Yankees or the Mets?
The Mets. And
Don't say it's not close. I don't want to hear that
close.
out of your mouth.
It's
not
close.
true whatsoever.
How is it not close?
Not true.
The Mets have
Joe, put that Yankee hat on. I want to see. I want everyone to know that you're the guy for the Yankees here. We don't got a Mets hat because there's no Mets fans that live in this venue right here.
Yeah. There's really Mets fans that live in the area, no Mets fans that probably live in the country, and no Mets fans that probably live in the world. But
you
got some outliers like him.
You weren't alive for half of your World Series. At least I was able to see my team make the World Series.
And then that
I think you've seen zero since.
Well, I've seen them make the World Series. You've seen them get swept by the
and you know what I've seen as a 3-year-old. I saw the Yankees win the World Series. A great World Series.
You didn't see anything. You don't remember anything about that game. Maybe you see highlights. You see highlights of the game. You don't remember nothing.
Victorino, ground ball, the Yankees win the World Series!
And there's actually to the second baseman Cano. The Yankees are back on top.
We're not talking about that.
World champions.
But I'm talking Yankees, Mets, listen.
And let's just talk about the Mets 2015 World Series. First batter, Alcides Escobar. Left field, Cespedes can't track it down. Inside the park home run.
Cespedes didn't look where the ball was. He tried to catch it backwards like a moron.
Yeah. Now he's playing where exactly?
He's playing in Puerto Rico.
There we go.
Cuba.
That explains it all.
And
that guy, don't get me started.
The Yankees, Mets. First weekend, and
Mets.
we look like the better team.
First
weekend, we look like the better team.
Mets have the better infield. Alonso's better than your first baseman. McNeil's better than LeMahieu right now. Lindor's better than your shortstop. Donaldson and
Escobar. It could be all better, but it's all about the record. It's just about the record.
4-2, 3-4.
We have the best shortstop in the game. So
I don't know if I can say.
Well, we actually have a very good rookie. Like we were talking about, Anthony Volpe's struggling. We talked about him before.
Mr. Anthony.
You Yankee fans are really too spoiled with your prospects. You're not going to get the next Derek Jeter. I don't know what that's about. Okay, he's going to be a good player. I think he could be
He's a great player.
He's definitely going to be an upgrade of what he had last year at
That's the
shortstop,
problem.
though.
He's not going to be a great player. He'll be a good player. I don't think he's
First
a great
weekend, we
player.
can't really say anything yet.
I don't think he'll be a great player.
Number 5 prospect for Baseball America.
That doesn't
so
really mean much.
we'll
Though.
see. It means something.
Derek Jeter wasn't a high prospect.
What does it say where it means something?
Derek
It's just
Jeter was
projections.
not a
It's
high
all about
prospect.
expectations and projections right now. We have to wait for the whole season to wind up. Hopefully, it doesn't. get hurt.
How do you feel about your owner? Hal.
This is
How do you feel about Mr. Hal?
Steinbrenner.
We have the best owner in baseball now. It's like,
Yeah,
But it's just because he spends money,
The
though.
best owner is.
okay, you can say the same with George Steinbrenner then, bro.
Yeah, you can. George Steinbrenner is a great owner. His son is the complete opposite.
Yeah, I don't know what he is.
It's going to be like a family-owned business, probably. That's the
Kind of
problem.
like the Patriots with Belichick soon. You know, Belichick's eventually going to get a higher.
What a
role there.
disaster that
And
franchise
then Big Steve.
Steve
Linebackers
Belichick.
coach, correct or no?
Linebackers coach, we're going to talk about that in another segment. We're going to have a football segment.
Yeah, let's knock it off track.
After the NFL draft around April 27th, April 28th, we're going to have another segment talking about the Giants draft picks. I'm right here, a Patriots fan. We're going to be talking about all that.
Of course,
We're going to talk about